Alright everyone, gather round. Today I want to tell you a story. A story that was told to me by an archmage many years ago. A story that I can't say if it's truth or one they'd conjured up in their minds, but I want to relay it to you and your group just for entertainment if nothing else. This tale is about a boy who was born to a human woman far away on the planet of Earth. This planet is located within a crystal sphere called gray space, and it constitutes the very center of said sphere. This boy would grow up through trials and tribulations to have some of the greatest of aspirations. This boy with the great aspirations, however, would end up as a god. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start at the very beginning. Vecna. That's the name of our subject today. Vecna was born long ago, as I said, to a human woman by the name of Mazel. Mazel and her young child lived in the Flan city of Fleeth, and these people, the Flan, were renowned for their mastery of magic. Vecna and his mother were born into the untouchable caste, and it was from this station where she would train this boy in the arcane arts for many years, for Mazel was a rather accomplished witch herself, even amongst the Flan. However, one day a princess of Fleeth requested a form of magical medicine from Mazel, which she gladly obliged. Mazel then handed over said medicine to the princess with some very specific directions. But unfortunately, the princess didn't listen, and the princess poisoned herself, dying in the process. Immediately after this, it turned out that the city guard had stopped appreciating Mazel's talents, and they were ordered to kill Vecna in front of his very own mother. Luckily for Vecna though, he escaped that rather grim fate through his mother's magic, but she would doom herself in the process, and in the end she would burn at the stake for her perceived transgressions. So Vecna was truly alone now, but with a heart full of hate for what they did to his mother. And then Vecna struck out on his own. Sure, he had a small amount of talent in the arcane ways, but now that his mother was no more, how could he grow any further? Could he even make it on his own? Well, luckily, or perhaps unluckily for everyone else, during his solo travels he discovered the ancient rites one would use to contact the serpent itself. Moxslick, the serpent, was thought to be the essence of magic personified and part of a small cabal by the name of the Ancient Brethren. It's said that the Lady of Pain, Asmodeus, and Jazirian were a part of this group as well. In fact, it's believed this entity would be comparable to our gods in the realms, if not even more powerful in their own right. Anyhow, it turned out that his mother, Mazel, had been a priestess or warlock of the serpent, so Vecna fell under the direct tutelage of Moxslick, and from there, many years passed. 1,000 years later, through the teachings of the serpent, Vecna had risen to become the most powerful wizard in the land and had already transcended the mortal shackles and achieved lichdom, having carved an empire for himself in an area known as the Sheldamer Valley. During this time, he wrote the book Ordinary Necromancy and made significant contributions to the Book of Vile Darkness. Sometime thereafter, he marched on Fleeth with an army of undead and was nearly destroyed by clerics channeling the power of Foltest, the god of light. They blasted him with a beam of divine light on his left side. However, Vecna was saved by Acererak, one of his generals. Acererak would go on to become a mighty lich in his own right. In fact, it's said that Acererak would build a rather famous dungeon named the Tomb of Annihilation. After Vecna had recovered from his defeat, he amassed his forces once more and attacked Fleeth again. However, this time he would be victorious and the city would beg for his mercy by offering wealth and even their lives in exchange for their loved ones. There would be no mercy to be had though. Vecna would turn a full family over to one of his lieutenants, the vampire Cass, the Bloody Hand, who would torture them over the course of a full day. Eventually he would kill them, and then between Vecna, Cass, and Acererak, they'd have the entire population of the city slaughtered and their heads mounted on pikes. And then Vecna began to prepare his most powerful spell yet, the Rite of Divine Ascension. During the siege, Vecna had trusted Cass with most of the administrative tasks. He had forged the powerful sword of Cass as an instrument of his lieutenant's authority. However, Vecna's evil manifested in the sword seduced Cass into usurping and killing his master. Cass then battled Vecna in the middle of Vecna casting his rites. Vecna would go on to banish him, but not in time to avoid his own destruction. The only traces left of Vecna's physical body were his left hand and eye, which still carried a fragment of the Lich's will. Their latent power supposedly turned them into artifacts of incredible power. However, Vecna's spirit endured, and after several centuries he amassed sufficient followers and worshippers among the ambitious wizards to reach the status of demigod. In fact, Vecna was then known as the God of Secrets. Sometime later, Vecna and his cult attempted to have Vecna ascend to the status of greater deity by organizing a centuries-long plot that culminated with absorbing the essence of the demigod Ayaz. Ayaz is, or was, the half-fiend or Cambion demigod son of Grazit, who himself is a demon lord of the Abyss. His plans also involved an invasion of Sigil, from where Vecna then aimed to control the entire multiverse itself. However, having his plans once again thwarted by adventurers, Vecna was expelled from Sigil with the help of the Lady of Pain and had his essence separated from Ayaz. Vecna, through the power of the aforementioned adventurers and the Lady of Pain, was ejected back to his home in Grayspace. However, the power he acquired through the process still allowed him to retain lesser deity power. And that is where the story ends, unfortunately. No happy ending, no banishment of our villain from the multiverse. Vecna still resides in Grayspace, assumedly still plotting and waiting for the next chance to strike and truly ascend to the seat of greater godhood. So that's the story of Vecna, as it was told to me many years ago. I have to admit, some of this seems pretty fanciful, but for some reason I just can't shake the feeling that my friend knew something more than they were letting on. Does Earth truly exist? What or where is Grayspace, and what exactly is a crystal sphere, assuming they exist at all? You know, I think now that I've relayed the story to you, I might go on to do some more extensive research. I truly hope this Vecna character is just a vivid fiction from the mind of an archmage, but I'd like to make sure of it myself. I'll let you know if I come across anything. Alright guys, that's the story of Vecna, a really fascinating character, don't you think? He's existed through many years and is probably one of the coolest villains in the multiverse in my opinion. Anyway, I like doing these sort of deep dives into certain characters, so if there are any particularly interesting ones you'd like me to read about, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, subscribe if all this is interesting to you. This is your guide signing out. Be safe, take care, and happy trails.